My name is Jibran Mbowa. I study at Brookehouse International School in Nairobi, Kenya. I'm in year 12. So currently I'm doing a course called BTech. So BTech stands for Business, Technology and Educational Council. So in this BTech course, we're given an assignment where we have to interview an entrepreneur and gain an understanding about their business, what it does, and also about the entrepreneur as an individual. So during this discussion, there are going to be some questions that are going to be asked, and I would like you to help me answer these questions.
Okay.
So the first question is, may you please tell me your name?
Okay. Thank you, Jibran. Thanks for meeting me and coming to my place, my business premises. My name is Hilary Bamlinde. I'm a supply chain specialist by training. I'm a businessman by design, something I've done for many years. Married with 4 children. I've been in business for about 14 years. I have business interests in a host of businesses ranging from real estate, hospitality, cottage industry, import and trade. But I think as a basis for our discussion today, we'll look more at real estate, and that's why we'll probably put it in these premises.
Okay. What is the name of your business?
This particular business is called Bellwether Properties Limited. That's a business name. The brand name is Bellwether Apartments, where we are now. It's our flagship real estate project, and currently looking at 28 mid-range apartments.
So what product do you sell?
Well, it's more of a service than a product. We would say we sell residential accommodation services.
So where's this real estate business? Where is it located?
Okay, like the flagship project is located in Chanja. Chanja is about 11 kilometers from Kampala CBD. We have a few other projects coming up soon. Some located in Chanja, looking at Kulambiro, and probably at a later stage we'll be looking at something upmarket.
When was this real estate business established?
We established it 5 years ago, but I could say operationally we're looking at 2 years. We spent 3 years under construction.
So what factors influenced you to locate your business in Chanja?
Okay, look, the real estate business is all about location. We've had a lot of adverts in UK and US about property. They always say location, and that's what influenced us to look at Chanja, because it's only 10 kilometers from CBD. It has got about 4 access routes. It's easier to move from Chanja to a lot of entertainment places, shopping malls. So it was ideal. Not so close to the city, because the closer you are to the city, the more expensive land is, which is a big factor in terms of real estate business. So we're looking for something, a location that will give us moderately well-priced land, but not very far from the city, that people will comfortably live there and work in the city without traveling miles in journey.
So what motivated you to start up a real estate business?
Well, besides making money, I would say it's a long-term holder of wealth as a business. It's one of those few businesses that hold value for a longer time. Something that I think is going to be here for probably as long as human beings are here.
What inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
Well, the desire to nurture your own ideas. The thing is about being an entrepreneur is that you I yourself there's a very big difference between an entrepreneur and being self-employed. Self-employed, yes, you have something you're doing. If it doesn't work, you move on to something else. The entrepreneur, you have an idea that you're so passionate about. You will work on it day and night. The motivation was that desire to have an idea and push it. The business has been growing. We have a new property down there that's coming up, and a new 8 apartments. We have a very high occupancy rate, way above the property market in Uganda, in Kampala, to be specific. I think currently residential properties in Kampala have an occupancy rate of about 65%. We run with something close to 90%. I look at that as growth. We have birthed new lands that we are looking to develop later. Yeah, so yeah, I look at the growth and the sustainability as a level of measure of success.
Successful entrepreneurs are known for having the following skills. They have strong leadership skills, they have very good communication skills, they're resilient, and they're very good at problem solving. So out of all these skills, which ones do you have?
Well, I've always looked at myself as a problem solver, even when I still worked for a corporate organization. I always told people I always find the easy way to get something done. Because at the end of the day, no one remembers how many steps you took, but they will always remember if you arrived or not. So I always find the easy way to get something done, and that I believe solves the problem. So among the skill sets you're talking about, I would look at problem solving.
So problem solving, has it contributed to your business success? And how was it applied?
Well, when you look at construction, it's more complex than putting brick and mortar together. You have a new challenge on a daily basis. Now, the ability to solve those challenges will determine whether you have a redundant workforce of 40 people sitting down and waiting for a solution, or getting back onto the gig and working and saving you a bit of money. And I've had so many of those incidents where I've got intervened and say, you know what, let's change this, let's do this and this. Instead of using this material here, let's use a different type of material. Or if you have an issue with KCCA, you step in and get it resolved on that day, instead of waiting for maybe when they come back in a month, or being revenue services, yeah, that kind of thing. I've already stepped in to get the issue resolved as quickly as possible.
So you said about the redundant employees. So you said 40 was the highest number. Has it ever exceeded that number, or that was the highest? The
40 was actually just an example. I think the average number of people we had working here was 100 people for a period of 2 years, full time. You're talking masons, laborers, plumbers, and yeah.
What attributes do you have that have made you to become a successful entrepreneur?
Oh, well, patience. They say it's better to have a little money and a lot of patience than to have a lot of money and very little patience, because you will soon lose it. Most people that you find who are heavily invested in real estate, it takes a lot of patience. The amount of money you sink in these projects comes back 12, 15 years, 15, 18 years down the road. And now, as someone who does a bit of trading as well, I'll tell you that, I could look at it and say, I could wash this money 3-4 times in a space of 5 years. But real estate is something that takes a lot of patience. You need to be patient. That money comes back slowly, painfully, and in droplets. You spend it in rain, It's like you're pouring rain, but getting it out is in droplets. But it is consistent droplets for a very long time, and that's what gives it the value it holds. Yeah.
So, apart from patience, do you have any other attributes, or that patience is the only one?
Well, I have. I think most entrepreneurs will always have so many things that they combine. You can look at things like patience. You can look at things like your networking skills. I think it's very important. It's a very big attribute for most businesses, being able to network, because you can't work in silos. You can't do these things alone. You need networks. You need you need partners. You need to raise capital. Most of this capital can be raised through banks alone. Even banks, we might have the same security, and they give me a loan and they don't give it to you, based on the relationship I have with the bank. So being able to build rapport, your communication skills, your ability to link with people, is a skill set a lot of business people will have. Yeah.
So, which specific attributes you said about patience? How has it contributed to your business success? And explain to me, like, which case scenario was it applied?
Okay, I mentioned something about the amount of money you put in real estate and how long it takes. You probably had the saying that money goes where it grows. People put money in something that they think will grow and give them money back. Now, where patience becomes critical in real estate is the fact that this money is not going to come back anytime soon. Sometimes we say that we are investing in real estate for our children or our children's children, because that's not money that is going to come back soon. Actually, depending on the level of how invested you are, you might be making more money on a fixed deposit than what you get as returns from real estate. The difference is real estate will grow in value year after year, but in terms of immediate return on capital invested, it's more or less the same as if the money was in a fixed deposit. Yeah. So that's why patience is very critical in this kind of business. Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying, like, most entrepreneurs, if they're starting in real estate, like, usually they become impatient when the money takes too long to come back to them.
Yes, that's why sometimes some people will sell it quickly, or even sell it at a loss, because eventually they realize it's not as lucrative as they thought in terms of what it brings back, or maybe even the losses, or you build it halfway and you don't have money to finish. Well, you have money tied in there, but it doesn't bring anything, and if you don't finish it, the value is more or less diminished. No one buys bricks; they'll look at it as just land. So, yeah.
What role does the mindset of an entrepreneur contribute to the business success?
Well, I think it's everything. The mindset is as critical as the capital. If your mindset is not in there, you won't be able to provide leadership. If your mindset is not in, you won't provide sense of direction. And as a business, all the people working for you, at the end of the day, they're working for you. If you don't give them direction, if you don't give them a vision, then anything goes. Anything could happen. So they rely on what you're providing in form of leadership and vision to be able to grow that business.
About the point about, like, giving your employees a baseline. So if you don't give them a baseline, they'll be confused. They'll be like, I'm in a business, but I don't know what I'm supposed to do. So if the entrepreneur come, like, during, like, a discussion in the business, they can come and then they discuss and say, this is what you guys have to do. Because if they do not have, like, a guide or, like, guidance or what to do, they'll start wondering, why did I join this business? Because I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly. You have to provide that sense of direction. For instance, if I'm talking about this property, the workers know that, for instance, we don't have outsiders coming in to swim. If I didn't provide that, maybe people walk in and pay some small money, maybe it ends up in their pocket, then they swim, but then you find it's inconveniencing your long-term tenants, who will not feel comfortable with strangers being at the pool with their children there, or their property there. Maybe someone has even left his boombox down there. But he knows there are no outsiders coming in. But if I don't provide that sense of direction, the workers will say, "Oh, we were making." They look at it. We're making extra money by bringing in these other people, but they forget that it's short-term, quick money, but it's impacting your relationship with your long-term tenants. Yeah. So, or if you don't give them, like we commonly say nowadays, SOPs, what your standard operating procedures are, then people will do whatever they want. Maybe you'll find Askari sleeping down up here because he's tired. But if you say, you must be at the gate can, if someone is at the gate, they can't spend more than 2 minutes there. So he knows that even if he has to step away, he has to leave someone watching it for him. So someone doesn't come and spend a long time there. They know that if a visitor comes in, they have to register, or they will take a recording of their number plate and that kind of thing. So that sense of direction is very important for any business.
What business risks have you faced?
Well, business risks are always around the corner. One of the major ones in real estate is changing government policy. Is a major business risk. Policies are always changing. Today you have say KCC collecting property tax. Someone else comes tomorrow collecting rental tax. Another person is collecting ground rent. And the normal business environment, if prevailing peace conditions are a bit threatened, the values go down or go up. The other major risk for this business is tax regime. Property tax has been changing. The way it's administered, the principle has always been the same. The way it's administered is what has keeps changing. I think they're now looking at making it a standard figure. Say, Bellwether properties, you pay a certain amount of money every year as property tax. Whether you're occupied or not, we want that tax, which is a bit of unfair. Tax is supposed to be fairly administered. So yeah, that's one of the risks that we look at here.
So how have you been able to manage these risks?
Well, you hedge yourself. We call it hedging in business. If you think that there's going to be the tax regime is highly likely to affect high-end real estate, is you start looking at doing maybe some low-cost accommodation, the one-bedroom units for $200, $100, $150 a month. Kind of rent, because some of these policies are mainly looking at the big property owners. They probably not look at the small ones. So you start doing a bit of land that you buy and flip. You buy, parcel it and flip it. That kind of thing. Yeah.
So what guided you to weigh the business risks and the business opportunities against the business opportunities?
So your understanding of the market. You have to always look ahead. You have to do research. You have to see what is happening in other countries. I always tell people, if you see something happening in Kenya, something happening in Rwanda, something happening in Zim, there's a big likelihood it will happen here. So if you see Kenya introducing a form of tax or a sort of new policy, you keep your ear on the ground. It's likely to come here at some point. So you start putting measures in place to guard you or protect you in case that happens.
What was your attitude towards risks, and how has it contributed to your business success?
Well, risk is if you can't do business if you're risk averse. Risk is something welcome. They say that I always look at it as the riskier it is, the bigger the rewards. So I will wear my risks. I'll put in, depending how much I can lose. And I'll weigh the rewards. If the rewards are very good, I'll probably go in at a certain level. And like I said, this business located here was a risk on its own. We put in so much money to build it, and initially no one thought that people would pay the kind of rent that we are looking at to be able to break even in 12, 14 years. And it has paid off. Wouldn't have known if we hadn't taken the risk.
Usually, sometimes, like when entrepreneurs that don't take risks, they usually the success doesn't follow up, because if they don't like decide and say I'm gonna take this risk, because actually people will remember me for taking this risk and seeing how my business success like a success story. So if the entrepreneur doesn't take the risk, then maybe I think they don't know where they want to go in life.
Exactly. You can't make money without taking risks. Yeah. If you don't want to take any risks, then you probably put your money in treasury bills and fixed deposit accounts, because those are the only things that are guaranteed to make a return to a certain level. Most other businesses, it is risk after risk, and sometimes the riskier it is, the more rewarding it is. The only thing is that you have to be sensible enough to know what level of risk are you willing to take or not. You don't want to sink all your life savings in an investment because you want to prove that you can take big risks. That is stupid. You take risks. Take measured risks. Take a risk up to a certain level, and beyond that, you say you have to have a point where you walk away. If I want to say buy a piece of land, I'll make my calculations, my valuation, and say this land is worth 200 million shillings. If the seller says they want 250, I need to be able to say at 220 I will buy or I will walk away. It doesn't matter if he says 222. Yeah, you have to. Now that's the principle that most business people have, and sometimes people look at it as arrogancy, which it's not. I'll have a point beyond which I'll walk away. So if I say I walk away at 220, at 221, I'll walk away. It doesn't matter if the difference is very small. Couldn't you add that small money? No, it's not. It's the principle. Because if I keep moving my principles, means that every time things move me, I shake. No, I get a point where I say, beyond this line, that's it. I'll move. I could have a tenant. It could be very good, and I could have my grace period for non-payment of rent. But if I say it is 3 months, it is 3 months. It doesn't matter if they're getting the money next week. 3 months is 3 months. So otherwise, I'll keep moving it. Then before you know it, you have 10 defaulting tenants because you keep moving. People cry and you forgive them. And, so that principle, the ability to draw a line, is probably what cuts it out for most entrepreneurs.
So what is the importance of the Bellwether real estate business to the economy of Uganda?
Well, there's a lot of reports that say Uganda has housing shortage of about 4 million. What we're providing now probably caters for 0.000, I don't know how many zeros in terms of solving that problem, but we think it's a start. We've had quite a lot of lessons learned. We've been researching a lot of new technology for building especially low-cost housing. We think we'll be maybe not a major player, but we will be a big player in a low-cost housing market, probably in the next 10 years. We're exploring a lot of opportunities to and networking with organizations like Africa, some companies in Kenya, and we're talking some venture capitalists to see how we can work together. Maybe we'll bring land as our contribution to the projects when they start.
So what is the vision of this business? The vision?
It's to grow our housing stock, probably 300 to 500 in the next 4 or 5 years. And to play a big part in the low-cost housing market.
So basically, the vision of this real estate business is to grow the housing rate.
To grow the size of available housing units. About 500 in the next 5 years.
So thank you so much for taking off your time for me to interview you, and have a nice day.
Thank you, Jibran. Thanks for coming in and speaking to us. We look forward to speaking to you again, and hopefully next time it won't be an interview. We'll take you around and you can visit some of our projects and get appreciation.